And we are live. Hello, and welcome to the She Cleans Up Studio, where we share tips, tricks, and tell-alls about starting, scaling, and supporting your house cleaning business. I'm Kelly, the cleaning girl, and I'm an award-winning and professional housekeeper of over 20 years. And now I teach women just like you how to turn their love of house cleaning into a cash machine. If you haven't already, be sure to download my new House Cleaner Starters checklist. It gives you a solid starter list to launch your business and level up to the pros. I'm so excited that you are here because we have an incredible show scheduled for you today. But before we get started, be sure to click the link at the top of the post if you haven't already, and give StreamYard permission to show us your comment below. So today we're talking about Mojo and your mindset. And one of the most common issues I witness amongst new cleaning girls turned business owners is that they don't know how to turn on the boss button and often find themselves a little lost in the sauce. So I wanted to take a moment and make this live special by bringing you one of our expert speakers from the Cleaner Girl Academy to share with us how to effectively shift the mental position within your cleaning business so that you confidently stand out from the competition and collect this cleaning cash. And so please help me welcome my friend, your friend, and our Mindset Mojo expert, Carla Briccotto of On the Couch with Carla. Welcome, Carla. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please tell us about yourself and your experience within the house cleaning industry.
Hi, Kelly. Thanks so much for having me. I'm really honored. And I love that checklist. Everybody's got to grab that because I can tell you after being in the industry straight for 25 years, I wish I had that way back then, right? So everybody's got to grab that. So I started in management. Thanks for showing that. That's awesome. I started in management in retail and then banking and loved working with people and managing people. But my life took a shift with my former husband when he worked crazy hours and our son was in first grade. I was like so blessed to have a promotion and work night shift, only I knew that wasn't going to work for me. So out of being resourceful and knowing I had to find something else to do, I turned to the cleaning industry back in 1996. So that has been my focus. But it was really cool because I could bring some pieces of corporate America over with me that really helped me set myself ready to start in the cleaning industry way back when. Listen, women, it was not common for women to start businesses back in 1996. It just wasn't a thing. So I had a lot of fear and I had a lot of question. And that's really how I started. And what the basis was for starting was to earn an additional income and start over again in something that would have flexible hours. What's really great about that is I could also incorporate other parts of my life, spending time with my son. I could, as a skating coach, I was a skating coach and always coach people in business just on the side, you know, helping other women get started. So I was able to incorporate all of that in my other past life experiences, as I call them, into the cleaning business. That was my focus from the very beginning when I really didn't know what I was doing. Like I just didn't know what I was doing. So I called upon those prior experiences and it all kind of folded together for me.
So, Carla, for those that don't know, us, we originally knew of each other on a local level, but personally connected through a women's networking Zoom call during COVID-19. And so after chatting for hours and hours about our shared love and hate relationship with the cleaning industry, we have developed a great friendship and a true love for supporting women in business. Now, in many of our conversations, we chat about the struggles and sacrifices that a lot of these women in business are faced with on an everyday basis, whether it be personal, professional, or just trying to prove themselves that they can make this thing work, right? So, after going through, 20 some years of being in business, what kind of crazy and wild stories do you have? And, any previous experience that you want to be able to share with us today?
Well, there's so many, right? Because we learn as we go. There's so many, but the first step is the first step, right? So you have to have the confidence in yourself to take that first step and calculate that leap, right? So that you have a calculated plan to start anything new, whether it's cleaning or any new business that you have. I really was not confident from the start. And I will tell this story quickly. I think this is the first time publicly, actually, that I'm going to, wait, I can feel the chills up my spine right now, that I'm actually going to tell this story. So I was making decent money as a manager in a call center in banking. And the time came to make that shift, as I said earlier. And I went to my husband at the time and I said, listen, this is what this is looking like. Banking is merging. I won't have the flexibility anymore. I'm working nights. I'd like to go ahead and start this business on my own, make my own hours while our son is in school. And then it really feels like it'll be a good fit for the family. What I didn't expect was the backlash that I got. I did not have a level of support. And this is someone that was not, normally a hot tempered person, but out of fear of losing my bank job and our benefits and everything that comes along with that and starting a new business came something that I didn't expect. Although he was self-employed with his parents for many years, what I got was, ladies, I got a kitchen table turned upside down with a dinner on it. I got my son, 8 at the time, scurrying across the kitchen floor to sit down cross-legged to eat the macaroni and cheese because that was his favorite. I got, you don't know anything about business, you'll never make it. Whew. Girl, telling this publicly is not easy. You'll never make it. You don't know what you're doing. And it stayed with me. It resonated with me for years. But what it did is it put fire in my belly. I knew I could do it. I did not have a college degree. I did not take any business courses, but I knew I had the fire within me and I knew I had the ability to connect with people. And that's what you need in business. No matter what business that you're starting, don't ever let anybody tell you you'll never make it. Because although I shifted out of that business in year 25, that business is still going strong. Mm-hmm. That cleaning business is still here today going strong. So if I hadn't have done that, if I had listened to that voice instead of my inner voice, Kelly, we would have never met. And right. I would not have had the career that I had all those years. So that's your first struggle, is not to doubt yourself when your closest people around you are doubting you. When they tell you you're crazy, when they tell you, you can't do it, or it's not right for you, you have to listen to you. And now I believe it is a little easier these days because of the resources online. And Kelly, what you're doing to give back and contribute to holding women up in the cleaning business, that wasn't there, right? When you and I started, that wasn't there. Yep. It was trial and error, sister, and you were on your own.
You're on your own.
You have a network now, ladies, and Kelly is spearheading that. And I'm just honored to be here with that. But that's your first step. Don't ever doubt yourself. Keep pushing. And when things get hard, because they will, rely on whatever that story is for you, whatever that why is for you. It's always in there. Sometimes you have to call upon it when things get tough. Sometimes you got to write it down on a piece of paper and say, remember when things get tough, and you want to look at it, smell it, see it, taste it, remember it, because that's what you're going to need to get through the hard times. And that did happen to me. I mean, it was traumatic, but it was always my calling card. I say that is my calling card to keep pushing. And thank you for listening to that.
Of course. No, I appreciate it. I thought it was great. I do. And thank you so much for sharing. I know that's part of your past, and not everyone is comfortable sharing their past and what has brought them here today. But I think it's a very important piece of your life that you're sharing with other cleaning girls. And, piggybacking off of that, I talk with a lot of cleaning girls. I've worked with over 100 girls within the past several years. And to be honest, one of the most common struggles is that they have been alone. They have been on their own. They had to get up in the middle of the night and go for it, right? Mm-hmm. With 2 kids, and they didn't have, money to make ends meet. They're taking their kids with them to work. There's a lot of sacrificing that goes on, right? As being a parent first and trying to get your way into, a sustainable lifestyle, I should say, right?
For
And
sure. Yeah.
this is definitely, I think, in my personal opinion, and professional opinion, this is one of the best industries to do that, right? If you're a single parent, if you are just, getting out of school, if you don't have a degree, if you do have a degree, anybody can do this. There are resources that are, so many are out there now than compared to what they were when we first started. And I think for a lot of these women that I talk to, there is definitely I think almost it's almost like a helmet of insecurity and intimidation when they first get started, right? Because they're holding on to, like you mentioned, they're holding on to that past, and they doubt themselves. And it's like, okay, I just gotta make enough to keep my phone on this week, right? I gotta make enough so,
Right.
I can get me and mine to where we need to go next week, right? In a couple weeks, I'll have money for daycare, and then I gotta get the car fixed, right? There's all these things that we as women struggle with just as being as being women.
Yeah.
That our counterparts don't really have to experience on a regular basis. But in this industry, I find that those struggles are more common than not, right? And so learning from where you were to where you are now, do you think that this has changed across the board with women in business, particularly women in the cleaning industry? Do you think that this is something that, still hasn't met, it's still not presented on the table for men? I mean, compared to what we struggle with versus what a male would struggle with in this industry, do you think it's a lot easier for a man to just get up and go versus a woman with all the baggage, with all the past, with all the history to be successful in today's market?
Well, yeah, I think first of all, as we discussed a little bit, you touched on the women bear the brunt of everything else in some circumstances, everything else that's going on with the family, along with the children and their school activities, et cetera, of what's going on. I find that that is a huge challenge. That has changed dramatically. Like now there are, significant others or spouses that really help contribute to the household. But what is really interesting is when I look back on who I have employed over the 25 years, I would say 89 to 90% single moms.
Yeah.
And that is what I wanted to do. I didn't set out to do that, but undoubtedly they were the ones that needed to get money fast, needed to have a flexible schedule. They were great at cleaning, because that was a primary function in 1996 of how it was set up then. So it just was a natural fit, and helping those single moms get on their feet and earn a really good income in day hours for me in residential cleaning with no nights and no weekends really spoke to a lot of women. And I was blessed to have some staff members with me 10, 12, and 13 years, which is really unheard of for the most part in the cleaning industry. So you build that bond with them, they become your family. And it's sometimes, it's a struggle in that way. But I feel like men, in whatever business they start, not that they don't have specific struggles, whether it be financial or what have you, but I feel like men get that immediate respect. Oh, John Doe's getting ready to start a car detailing business. Let's all go support him. Oh, Susie Q's over here doing this little thing called cleaning. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
I equate that to me not having a college degree. And I tease some of my friends. I mean, some of my friends are doctorates because they say surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. I don't know. But it's so interesting because it's perception. It's perception in society. So I have a friend that has a doctorate degree. And they say, oh, you have a doctorate. Oh, you're a teacher. Oh, and they look at me, and this is true. And they say, what do you do? Oh, I own a house cleaning business. Oh, and they turn right back to my friend. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
The stereotypes that we face in this business. And that's why we have to be stronger. There are a lot of resources of loans and things out there for women that we don't necessarily know about, that men would know about because they're already in that business networking kind of thing. So on very different levels, it's just challenging sometimes for women in business. And we got to have the backbone, and we have to support each other and collaborate with each other and get it done. That's the best way to get it done.
And so overcoming your own challenges, I mean, I've had mine as well throughout the years. what would you say, was the biggest shift for you going from just cleaning houses to being the boss of a cleaning company? Because those are two different things, right? They're definitely two different things. It takes
They
a
are.
really mature mindset to shift from point A to point B. It takes a lot of maturity to get there. What would you say is the biggest shift? And if you had an opportunity to go back and change one thing, what would that be?
So the biggest shift is you have to know where you want to go. You can't get to where you're going if you don't know where you want to go.
Very
So
true.
for me, I worked a lot in personal development, and it was okay, here's my 3 month, here's my 9 month, here's my 2 year plan, whatever that looked like for me, because there was always your life shifts every 60 to 90 days. Sometimes it's little and sometimes it's bigger. But if you sit back and think about it, most people have a shift at that time. So I knew I actually wanted to begin training my crew leads that I had to so that I could step a little bit out of the field and start developing and growing the business, a responsible growth of the business.
Right.
And the big shift came when I got breast cancer. And the second big shift came when I got thyroid cancer. So I got breast cancer and it was really early in it. So I was like, oh, it's cool. Like, I'm just going to have this little surgery. And I was blessed. Thank God I was blessed and caught it early enough. And I could jump right back out. I started training my crew leads. And then I got thyroid cancer. And I had complications from what was supposed to be a simple operation. And I ended up in ICU for 8 days.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, I almost died twice.
Yeah.
My team ran everything, all houses, all teams, everything without me being in the field, without me even being here. I'm in ICU and this company's growing.
Right.
And this is going to sound silly, but when I came home and I was recovering, I thought, they don't need me. I have trained them so well that they can function without me in the field on a daily basis. We can keep growing now. So it's about setting your mindset, setting your time frame, setting your intention. And then listen, for most people, life smacks you, whether it's a divorce, a spouse left, illness of a parent, somewhere along the line, life is going to hit you and make you really see, okay, all right, I'm either on the right track or I need to change the track I'm on.
Yeah.
And for me, it taught me that my intuition of wanting to train those crew leaders so that I could duplicate my business, it was for a reason, because they never skipped a beat. I never lost a dime of income. They never lost a dime of work, and the business just kept on thriving. So that was a huge shift.
And so after chatting with women in business, because I know you talk with a lot of women in business on a regular basis, and learning of their tug of wars that basically take up rent in their head, do you find that these issues tend to be with a more inexperienced business owner or just across the board?
So I feel it's across the board.
Okay.
Most people have a tendency to make up stories, right? You have a choice. You can either make up a story where you're not going to be successful and every obstacle that comes in your head, you're going to put it in there. I like to erase those out. If I'm going to spend the time and energy to make up a story about a struggle, I'm going to make up a good one, right? Yeah. So I'm not going to spend time on the negative. I'm going to spend time on making up a story and envisioning myself and doing something positive.
Right.
And that could be in business, or maybe you're working with a nonprofit. Maybe you're doing something at your kid's school and they've asked you to take a leadership role. Maybe it's something you're totally uncomfortable with that has thrown itself at you through a friend. And you're like, I don't know if I want to do this. Instead of like making up all the negatives, if you're going to do that, you got to make a pros and cons. You got to do both to stay out of your head, because in there, nothing good comes from it if you don't write it down on paper and go do it.
Yeah.
So all you're doing is causing yourself turmoil and stress because you're making up stories.
Yeah. And it kind of goes back to what I said in the beginning, as far as, just talking with other cleaning girls, from my experience, about the doubt, about the insecurity, about the lack of confidence. Right. And I mean, based on these issues that you and I see on a regular basis, what is something that you would suggest for a self-starter, someone that's new to the business and not trying to get overwhelmed, trying to find their place in this business world and really, take action? Like, hey, I did this. I'm doing this for my kids. I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my legacy. I need to get out of my own way. And how can I do that without paying a therapist, without, crying for help.
Call
Like,
me.
how can I effectively do that and just show up the next day, and be positive and continue to do well along the way?
So the first thing is you've got to know your why. Why are you doing it? If you're
Yes.
making 10 cents for today, what's going to motivate you to make 10 cents next Tuesday?
Mhm.
So you have to know your why and why you really want to do this. You don't need to know all the answers when you start. The biggest thing is, honestly, start with collaboration. Make a list, go through social media. You would be completely amazed by the people you may already know that are doing different things in life, but have relatable experiences that they could help you. You don't have to go to a cleaning person to 15 cleaning people. Your
Right.
friend down the street may be really good at connecting, and they sell makeup. You know what I mean? And they have just different experiences to teach you how to better connect with people, because cleaning is cleaning. But to get your customers, to maintain your customers, if you want to grow to 2 or 3 people that want to help you, you have to be able to connect with people. People are connecting and taking on your service because of you. There's a gazillion cleaning services out there. They're
Yeah.
going to pick you because of you. And
Right.
number 3, start coming up with a system or a process. Whether that system is, this is how we're going to dust, this is how we're going to vacuum, this is how we're going to interview, this is how we're going to do estimates. The more systems, and they can be little, they can be 4 steps to every little thing. It doesn't have to be big, but little steps in systems and in process become then duplicatable. They become memorable, and repetition makes things stay in your brain, so that you can start cleaning on automatic pilot. And then in 3 months, if you so choose, you can expand and find 10 more customers on
Right.
automatic pilot, and you slowly build into this. Listen, when I first started cleaning, oh my God, the girls that I went to high school with, they were, and this was long before social media, right? We had to pick up the phone, but they were like, you can't clean. You couldn't keep your bedroom clean. What makes you think that you're going to have a cleaning business?
Yeah.
But you learn and you do. And sometimes we do things out of desperation. But if we don't have a plan and we don't have our why, our steps in place, and an action that we can at least start with, you can revise that plan every 60 days. It's yours. You get to write your own story. And that's where sometimes I think people get caught up in comparison on social media, in the cleaning business down the street. They
Hmm.
don't have your story and
That's
they
right.
don't have your why. So always connect to yourself first, and then use a stream of others and have a system. And you're going to do great. Like, you're going to do great things.
So, Carla, thank you. Wow. So, knowing what we know now, and for those that are watching, I'm really hopeful that some of our house cleaners will take note and take some time to implement these strategies and communicate when they find themselves struggling. Because honestly, I don't believe any company can thrive without a confident, courageous business owner leading the way. I mean, I know I didn't. I had certain people that I could rely on. Not everybody has anybody, but you know what? That's what our group is for. We have house cleaner community. It's for everybody, right? If you're cleaning houses and you're having a bad day, if you're having a great day, come in there. We want to support you. And so, Carla, if there are any house cleaners that have questions about their interest in learning about your service or have questions about Mojo in their mindset, how can they contact you?
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and put that in the link. I have a really cool coaching business, and I work within a program called ULA, and it's about 7 pillars of your life. And it's really cool to keep your business on track, you in self-care, you in a good financial spot, so that you can take care of your business. If you're not in a good place, your business is going to struggle, your family's going to struggle, etc. So I have this coaching business that I operate with. And I love that. You can connect with me at Consult with Carla B. On Facebook, I'm just Carla Briccotto. On Insta, Carla Briccotto, the Carla B. So you can put any of those in and connect with me. And we can talk about cleaning or other life struggles that might be holding you back, because time's ticking and you don't need any holdbacks. We have enough holdbacks. We have enough regrets. So it's time for you to get in action and get moving. And Kelly, you doing this, setting up this collaboration is just amazing. And I'm so glad that we connected on social media and have become Really, really, really great friends. Your handbook is a place for everybody to start. And that's just, it's a great starting point that people should be excited about that they can get their hands on.
Well, I appreciate that, ladies. If you're catching this late, comment replay below and click the link provided to grab all of these goodies. And I'm also going to have the link for our starter checklist. You can connect with Carla through Consult with Carla B. Again, you can find her right through her profile at the end of the live and connect with her there. Carla, thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I can't wait to see you show up inside of our academy and drop more gems for us all. And for everyone watching, thank you for tuning in to She Cleans Up. This is our episode for the day. And I want to make sure that you join us next time as we share the dirty journey of all things clean. So this was super fun. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I can't wait for everybody to see this and add their comments. And hopefully we'll have some other girls that'll step up and share their story as well. So thank you everybody for watching, and we will see you next week.